Hello everyone and welcome back to Typical City. Is Jack Grealish partying too hard? I do think there's an interesting topic to be discussed there because there is a line you can cross as far as I'm concerned, but should we be leaving him to it? And is the Bernardo Silva move on the cards? Is it getting closer? And two players, Premier League rival players from opposition clubs, have spoken about the potential prospects of facing Manchester City next season and Bayern Munich. Kyle Walker, how close is that deal to happening? Is it going to happen at all? All that to come. But first, Jack Grealish, that's the interesting topic I wanted to discuss because I do think there's going to be a division of opinions here with City fans, and I think it's an age thing as well because Jack's 27 years old. I think if you ask the majority of 40-plus-year-old City fans or 45-year-old City fans and above, most of them would say, yeah, calm down, take it easy, get the football side of your career right. You've got plenty of time to party after that. And then you've got younger lads. I think they're going to be saying, well, leave him to it. He's had a hard season, 12-month season almost. Leave him to it. Let him party as much as he wants to. For me, I am somewhere in the middle. I'm a bit torn on this one because I believe that he should be allowed to party. I believe there is cameras focused on him, waiting, pouncing like a lion hunting a gazelle, waiting for the gazelle to make a mistake, do something stupid, and you've been caught, mate, and you're in trouble. And that's what worries me. That's what I'm genuinely concerned about. And I think if he makes that mistake, and we all know, once you've had a few bevies, you can make mistakes. The worst type of mistake you can make is taking drugs, as far as I'm concerned. As a football player, that's the worst type of mistake you can make, because if you get drug tested, your career's over. You're finished. And I've been to Ibiza numerous times. It's readily available, those types of mistakes. And if you make those types of mistakes, it can come back to hurt you, even if you're not a football player. But if you are a football player, the limelight is on you. And you could make a mistake and take something that ruins your career. And what a career potential. He's got a great career already. The guy's won a treble, of course. And that's why he deserves to party, as far as I'm concerned. But Gareth Southgate said it himself. But there are people that look at Gareth Southgate with his waistcoat and his tie and his goody two-shoes and the prefect's head boy type mentality. Like, oh, he's too good. Let him have a party. And I believe that you should allow him to party. But there is a line for me, if you talking of lines, the white line that you don't want to cross in the wrong mentality is the football pitch white line, that touch line. When you come through the tunnel and you cross that white line and you are on the pitch with a Man City shirt on, you have to be at 110%. No two ways about it. And if you're not, and if there is evidence that your football has declined as a result of your off-the-field antics, then you've gone too far. There is other aspects to the situation, is the longevity of this. How long a career are you planning on having? Because you're shortening it every time you take a drink. And I am not a health champion because I have a drink occasionally and I'll eat the odd bit of crap food and I can go out and party. I'm not privy to not doing those sort of things. And I respect Jack's wishes. I do think there is an agenda against him, though. I think there are people, the icon image, the luxurious locks, the good-looking lad that he is. I think there are people out to get him. And the links between him and Gaza as well, people are talking about that. But Jack's complained about the limelight always being on him, but I think he wants it that way. And even if he claims that he doesn't, then don't go and grab the mic. And the presenter of the treble parade was trying to talk to you and you say, oh, hang on a minute, I've not finished drinking. Starts drinking and feeding the turkey or whatever phrase that they were all coming out with, some nonsense. Funny to look at, but don't claim at the end of that you weren't looking for the limelight. It's, why is everyone looking at me? Because you grabbed the mic, mate, and you necked a bottle of vodka in front of 200,000 people. Do you know what I mean? So there is a difference between going at it hard and then really going at it hard and wanting everyone to look at you. There are plenty of City players that will have done what Jack's done. I think Laporte's out there in Ibiza and Vegas and having a good time and fine. But it's the fact that you're coming out of these bars and clubs and different areas that you're out holidaying and you're just out of it. Your eyes are in the back of your head, and it's not a great look. And as a professional footballer, it stands out even more because you are supposed to set the example for young kids as a fitness side of the game, as in alcohol does not make you fit. If you went onto the pitch drunk, you are not going to perform well. It's as simple as that. Even hungover, and if stuff's still in your system, he's now got to fight an uphill battle to get back to match fitness. That's the concern. But if he does that and gets back to match fitness, crosses the white line and puts in 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 performances week in, week out, you can't complain. I have no problems with him getting absolutely shit-faced. Do whatever you want to do, but if you put on that City shirt and play really well, happy. But if you don't and your performances decline, then the finger is very easily pointed at your off-the-field antics and your drinking. And at least he's honest about it. I like the fact that he seems like such a decent bloke, such a nice guy. Every time he's interviewed, I love to stop and listen because he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's such an honest bloke, and he'll say it how it is. And I like that. I respect that. And then there are other players that don't do that. There are players that party behind closed doors and do things that they shouldn't be doing behind closed doors. So, I mean, like Benjamin Mendy and Partey, for example, what they get up to behind closed doors. Mario Balotelli's nearly set his house on fire behind closed doors. So there is partying in public, and then there's partying behind closed doors. And I mean, at least Jack's not, setting his house on fire or ended up in a court case. Do you know what I mean? There are other types of partying that can be done that is definitely the worst end of the party spectrum. So, I think at least he's not doing any of that nonsense. But what do you guys think? Do you think that's too far? Do you think he's going too far? Do you care? Do you think just let him go for it? Go for it, Jack. You deserve it. You're a treble winner. You deserve it. I think he deserves it, and let him do it. For me, it's like we haven't seen the repercussions of it yet. So when we do, that's when I'll have an even stronger opinion, because if he comes back into a City shirt with a few extra pounds that he needs to burn off and his actual performances start to decline, then I will be saying, hey, you've gone too far. That's when I'll have a problem with it. But until then, if he comes and plays really well, go for it, Jack. I'm absolutely happy for you. But in other news, Bernardo Silva, PSG are readying a bid, apparently, of 68 million, according to the Marca. And Al-Hilal are also readying a bid of 70 million euros, which seems on the cheap side for me. 70 million euros, that is. But 50 million pounds wages per year. It is getting to the stage now where it's like, make your mind up. I think we need to, holidays are ending, players are being returned back to the squads and back for training to get cracking with retaining that Premier League title. And we need to know whether Bernardo Silva is going to be part of the squad or not. This limbo that we're in with the guy, time and time again, I don't think it's his fault. A lot of the previous transfer negotiations and discussions around Bernardo Silva and that cloud that's constantly above him is whether he's going to be in the City shirt the next season. Prior years was never his fault as far as I'm concerned, because I think he came into the City squad and you can never argue. He never played like he didn't want to be there. He always played like he wanted to play for City and Pep Guardiola. So you can't argue. It's not harmed him in any way. But now the discussions are gathering pace, and there's a snowball effect happening here where it's growing and growing, and the rumours are getting stronger and stronger, and his missus is playing a role in it, apparently. And I mean, if you want to live in Paris, you want to live in Paris. If that's your goal, that's what your life ambition wants to be. Fair enough. You can't really argue. Personal preference comes into every decision in life, so you have to respect that. And it's not like he's not been an unbelievable servant for us, but he needs replacing. And Gabri Veiga, good player. Riquelme was another one linked to City. Are they good enough to fill the boots of Bernardo Silva? For me, I'm not so sure. I think Frankie De Young would be a little bit more suited. Not quite the same position, but he's got a little bit more versatility. He can play central midfield. He can also create a little bit, and he can also drop into defensive midfield. So I think he's got a little bit more versatility than the other creative players that we've been linked with, and the experience and the nous of knowing how to win trophy after trophy after trophy. So for me, that would be the one we'd go for. Whether we're waiting to see if Bernardo's deal actually goes through and then we come in strong for a bid for someone like Frankie De Jong, then we have to wait and see. But then there's two other players that have come out recently and discussed the future of playing against City. Bruno Guimaraes has said he feels like a child when he goes up against Manchester City. Well, if you can't beat us, Bruno, then he's someone I wouldn't mind in our team in defensive midfield alongside Rodri. Bruno Guimaraes was an absolute beast last season. A couple of games he went missing, but overall, an amazing prospect, and I can't see Newcastle letting him go. That's not very likely to happen, but he's someone that would give Kovacic the freedom to go into the Gundogan role and play more centrally midfield and more in the attacking side of the game if we could have Bruno behind him. This is just my opinion, pipe dream stuff. There is no links to Bruno Guimaraes at all, but it is someone we would like to see. But you've already set in the precedent for... are you beaten before you even play City nowadays? Trent Alexander-Arnold is the other one, suggesting that Liverpool next season must be perfect. He's not wrong. He's not wrong, is he? And I mean, you have to be close to perfect. You can afford to drop very few points now. And the bar, the benchmark that City have set is a frighteningly high one. And you can see it. They're scared. There are players already. The season hasn't even started. And they're talking about how it feels to go up against City and how you have to perform. And talking about it for me means you're crossing that white line with a little niggling thought in the back of your mind, like, oh, this City side, if we make one mistake, we're in trouble. City don't go into games like that. City go into games like, we're going to win. We're winning this game and we're winning the next game and we're going to probably win 10 more after that as well. So that mentality is something that United used to do in the 90s. They used to be beaten before you even crossed the white line against United. Fergie instilled the fear factor. Pep has done exactly the same. He's instilled the fear factor into the rest of the Premier League to the point where the rest of the Premier League have put us on a pedestal in first place and the rest are fighting it out for second. And it feels like that. It feels like these comments are starting to feel like that. I don't think there's an absolute certainty that City are going to win the Premier League. I think Liverpool are going to be our main challengers next year, and I think we're going to do well to stop Liverpool from winning the Premier League. We can do it, of course we can, but to go again is the hardest thing to do in football. To win a treble and then get motivated to go again. There are players in our team that have fit the bill for doing that. Pep Guardiola being at the helm to do that is another man that has that hunger to keep going again and again and again. And there are just winners in the game. There are people that win and then pat themselves on the back and say, that's me, done. I'm worried about Jack Grealish in that regard, because the way he's partying is like he's won at life. You know what I mean? He's like, I've done it, mate. I've completed football, won at life. There's nothing left for me to do. So I hope he comes back with the Haaland mentality, like, scored 2 today, should have been 3, or scored 3 today, should have been 4. That mentality. I want more. And you're never satisfied. A treble is not enough. We want a quadruple. You need that hunger. And do we have it? I think we've got numerous players in our squad that definitely have it. Hence why we won the treble in the first place and completed the 3-peat. Can we complete the 4-peat? It would be remarkable to do that. But hopefully that fear factor can spread like a virus in the Premier League, and the rest of the Premier League can look at City and just, like they're just above us. They're above us. They're miles ahead of us, and we'll never attain that level. Hopefully we can keep that fear factor going. And in other not so great news, I mean, it's bumbling along, the whole Kyle Walker thing. Bayern Munich are not prepared to increase the offer, which is currently at £15 million plus add-ons for Kyle Walker. That's not a bad offer for someone who's only got a year left on his contract. I would just rather keep him and not go through the hassle. Hakimi is another player that's been linked as a potential replacement. I spoke yesterday about Alphonso Davies. That's my personal opinion. I know he's a left-sided player, so it's not a direct replacement, but in terms of preventing counter-attacks and solidity, as well as someone who's got versatility, can play left-back, centre-back, defensive midfield, left wing, Alphonso Davies fits the bill. Can Hakimi play in 3 centre-backs? He's a very technical player. I think he could play in defensive midfield. Inverted definitely could do that, but he's very, very wide, and he's more of a Cancelo mould. He's not really that Walker replacement for me, and he's not got the speed of Alphonso Davies or Kyle Walker. So, and the off-the-field problems as well. The guy's going through a high-profile divorce with millions of pounds with the missus on the line. So that's another, you're buying a problem by the sounds of it, that he needs to fix that first before he can get back to football. So Hakimi, I'm not convinced that that's the greatest move for us. But what do you guys think? Do you think Kyle Walker is going to get on the plane and head over to Bayern Munich? Do you think Jack Grealish is partying too hard? And what do you think of the comments from Bruno Guimaraes and Trent Alexander-Arnold? Have we instilled that fear factor into the Premier League? And have we already won? Have we already won the Premier League before it even kicks off? Get in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Blues. Like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now.